and she finds tepid soup, not cold enough for her to eat, but warm enough for her to pour on herself.
Not cold enough for her to eat.
Welcome to Shelf Indulgence, where stories come alive in conversation. I'm Remy, your host and first-time reader, turning the pages alongside each guest as they revisit a book that has left its mark on them. Together, we linger over passages, chase down themes, and wander through the margins of a story worth revisiting. Whether you're turning the pages for the first time with me or revisiting a favorite alongside my guest, I'm glad you've joined us on this journey. Hello again, and welcome back to Shelf Indulgence. We are continuing our deep dive into the Unraveling. If you joined us last episode, you know that things are starting to do exactly that in some pretty big ways. This is part 2 of our 4-episode conversation for this section of the book, picking up right where Michael and I left off. If you're just here for the ride, fantastic, welcome. If you're reading along, even better. Either way, let's get to it. Moving on back to Walker.
Made it to the end of the hallway.
Yeah, dude has some serious agoraphobic.
Agoraphobia, man. What I highlighted is on that first page, like he took a deep breath and hurried through that damned open space.
And this is inside of a freaking silo, man. This guy, he's not made for
silo,
up top.
Right? Mm-hmm. No, he is not.
But I did want to point out on this page too, it's talking about a couple of shadows throwing stones for chits, just a side little world building. I don't know what the game is. We don't know what it actually means.
Gambling of some sort, right?
Yeah, kind of fun. It reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean when they're playing with the dice on the ship. It's like, what else do you do with your free time, eternity, not being able to go anywhere?
Yeah. The first thing I thought when I read that was, where'd they get the stones from? But I guess they're mining. Yeah. Of course there's going to be stones.
They call it a mine.
Yeah. But yeah, here Walk, he like tries to get out. He's like putting his back to the wall.
Poor man.
Feels like a lifetime. I wonder what his backstory is like,
right?
Why he's so afraid to leave his room, why this is so scary to him. Is this just like was naturally in his genes that he was gonna have agoraphobia? Is this something that he learned? Like, did something happen in his youth that made him terrified of the outdoors? Was there an event that caused him to want to be a recluse? Or is it just like it has nothing to do with agoraphobia originally, and it's just like he locked himself in his room for other reasons, but now that he's been in his room so much, everything is so scary. And it, of course, developed agoraphobia from being locked in his room.
That would be my assumption. Of course, there could very easily be something in his past, but that seems like something that would very easily happen, especially to people down in like mechanics or the mines or anything down lower where they don't get to see the view outside. I think that would develop more frequently than we expect. I don't know. I don't think I would do well down that deep and that enclosed all the time.
Neither would I.
Crazy. But he makes it to the gathering where we find out that Knox and Shirley and Mark and everyone are talking. And we also find out that Shirley is very short. She has to stand on a chair to be as tall as everybody else. Like, I had no idea. She's a tiny, tiny person. But yeah, then we find out that, or not that we find out, but Mark, he's saying, hey, maybe it's gotten better out there. It's like, Mark, that's not the case. You're being fibbed to.
Yeah.
He's also thinking that maybe they figured out the suits. He's being very naive. I like Mark a lot. He seems like a very kind human, but he doesn't seem like the sharpest of the mechanics.
Yeah. I don't know if naive's the word that I would use. I feel like it's more optimistic.
I think there's if you put those two words on a Venn diagram, you're going to have a hell of a lot of overlap.
Sure.
So I think we're both absolutely right on that. Mm-hmm. It's naivety. It's optimism. It's everything and that's one of the reasons I like him so much, is because he is just like, he's a gung-ho. We don't know a lot about him. We love Shirley. He's married to her, so he gets points for that. But yeah, and I also wanted to kind of focus on, we see a lot of names. We see Gracie, we see Shirley, we see Mark. They're all spelled just a little bit funky, and I love that he doesn't
Peter
go
is P-I-E-R instead of just P-E or P-I-E-T-E-R.
ER.
Yeah,
He doesn't go crazy with the sci-fi names, but it's the evolution of our standard names. It's fascinating.
Yeah, after hundreds of years, like that might just happen naturally.
Well, imagine
the mark with the CK at the end keeps throwing me off because I know, especially after we talked about it earlier, that's just Mark. Every time I see the extra letter in there,
you want to say Merrick.
I try to pronounce it differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to be like Mark or something, or Merrick. Yeah,
Mark.
like I want to put like another
a hard K on it.
I feel like, but obviously it is just Mark. Like MARCK is still the same as MARC or MARK. But anyway, but yeah, the little differences in the spelling, I like that. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, but when Walker walks into this room, as he does, not very well. This is when Shirley realizes she forgot to get him his breakfast. So that's a cute little detail of their relationship.
Yeah, that's after he like speaks up. But what I thought was, I wanted to talk about really quick. There's this line when Knox is kind of responding to Mark talking about it maybe getting better. He's like, what we need to be talking about, he said, chewing, is this sham of an election, this rat ass mayor, and us kept in the dark down here.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was a great way to put it, and like really shows how at this point in time, they're finally, the wool's been removed from their eyes. You can see clearly, and they need some fucking answers.
Yeah. Yeah. Knox in this first part of this section gets a lot of good points from me. Like, I love him as a character. I love him less when we get up to supply, and we'll discuss why. But
yeah, okay.
But as a character down in the mechanical and getting things rolling and the speeches he makes, I do like the speech that he makes in supply, but we'll again get there in a minute. But I just like the way he kind of takes command, and he's like, you do this, this is the plan, blah, blah, blah. It's like, this guy's been thinking about this for a minute. There's no way he hasn't had this in the back. The way he shells out orders that way.
I think that's just like the way he does shit as the head of mechanical.
Could be.
That's how he acts. That's how he works. That's who he is.
Yeah.
He is that born leader, or maybe like a developed leader over the years, but he's a leader. He knows how to tell people what they need to be doing. I don't think he necessarily thought about this. I think he just instinctually knows some shit needs to get done, and he knows how to delegate.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. I can get on board with that.
And Walk says they didn't figure out the suits.
Yes, that's exactly what I was just about to bring up. But it wasn't them in IT that figured out nothing. I did it. Hell yes, you did. I love that. And it talks about how no one had seen him really come out of his room. No one was old enough, which is a crazy thing to think about. But what about Knox? Knox was also said to be aged.
Yeah, he's probably like the only one that would know. Like, he probably knows his story. He probably knows why Walk hasn't been seen in, most of these people's lifetimes.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Oh, Jesus. He's talking about how he wired in all his favorites. I actually really love the way it's said, because he said favors and favors. I called them all in, told them we'd be even.
I got goosebumps, like, just thinking about that. Like,
yeah. But he says, I wired in those favors instead of called in those favors. There is no called in this universe.
Yeah, there's no calling in this world.
Wired is the replacement. And I just love, that was like the climbing on the go phrase that we got when Jans was eating on the climb. Eating on the climb. That's what it was. Not eating on the go.
Eating on the climb.
Yeah. I love that. It's just such a simple little thing, but it gives flavor to the world. Then he straight up says, Walker straight up says, they've been making those suits to fail. They don't want your body wandering out of sight. No, sir. I love him. Yeah. He is. And he obviously does not go up with everybody else.
Oh, hey, he did say called them all in.
Oh, did
I just stumbled on the page. Favors and favors. So I called them all in, told them we'd be even. Yeah, interesting.
Oh, okay.
Where did they get that word from?
Yeah.
Well, I guess you can call out to someone.
Sure.
He doesn't have to be on a phone.
Sure.
Yeah.
But it says it both ways.
Oh,
okay,
and
interesting.
Also, there's the talk later when she meets Solo later about the
can we call them?
The bull. My point is, like, the bull, like, and then she does say call them, But he's like, you don't know what a bull is. And she's like, oh, it's from like bully, right? And he's like, yeah, people don't know words. And so I think it's like, certain words, even if you don't know where they come from,
For
even
sure.
in our culture, they stick around and you use them. Like, oh, there was one that I can't.
There's a good saying that I always think about when I think about conversations like this. The saying, blood is thicker than water. What people think it means, blood meaning family, is thicker than water meaning friends. The full saying, the blood of the brotherhood is thicker than the water of the womb, which is exactly the opposite of what people assume it to be.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So that's the full saying, which means your friends are more important than your family, but people say it and they say it exactly the opposite, which is wild.
Yeah. Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah.
It is interesting. I was thinking along the lines of how like certain phrases we use to mean something, most people have no idea where the phrases came from or why they're saying it. And like if you like, and this happens all the time with people who are like learning a new language, like you'll like translate something literally and be like, what's that mean?
What the hell
but then
are you
like
talking
when
about?
you think about, oh, we just mean this. And, I actually just saw on Reddit the other day, and I don't know if people were joking or playing along with the joke. But somebody had asked, like in Futurama, when Fry touches where his nose used to be in one of the episodes where he lost his nose, and they're like, what's he saying? And they're like, on the nose. I'm like, well, what's on the nose mean? Like, where's that phrase come from? And like, I don't know. Honestly, I have no idea. I just know on the nose means like you nailed it. You got it exactly right.
Yep.
But why on the nose? I don't know.
No idea. I actually have a book around here somewhere. It's a book of where idioms and sayings came from. I love it. It's one of my favorite things it's like one of those toilet readers. You sit down and you just learn a few things.
Oh yeah.
Best thing ever. My wife got that for me for years ago.
We can use called
sure
as one of those. It's a thing that stuck around. They might not know what it means.
It's like rolling the windows up.
But yeah. You don't roll windows up anymore.
Or snapping a picture.
That's what we say.
It's funny.
Yeah. Anyway,
but now we are to the end of this chapter, and I just wanted to point out that last line. This is how it starts, he whispered. The room quiet once more. He looked up at all the faces, scanned them, seeing in their fury, in all exploded taboos, that he was right to worry. This is how the uprising begins.
Goosebumps, man. Fucking goosebumps, because...
So well written.
Right? Exactly that. A little bit, just a few paragraphs up, I also highlighted, this is it,
yes.
Walker said to himself, seeing what was happening, what he had started. He watched his friends and coworkers get all riled up, barking at the empty air for answers, their passions stirred. This is it, he said again, and he could feel it brewing, ready to burst out. This is it. This is it. And it says it like all as one word.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, when are we going to have our this is it moment? Like, when is it fucking coming? Sorry to get back to the reality of the parallels here, but
believe me, I've got plenty written down to parallel us.
To be reading about an uprising and watching how this boils over and how people hit that limit of knowing what that line is. I think about this all the time these days.
Yeah.
We know where the line is when we watch movies and TV shows and read books. We see it right here in this moment. We know where the line was when the fascists were, in World War II, for America, we've got like the Pearl Harbor was that line. And there's these moments where everybody knows this is where we step in and we stand up.
Yep.
And in our world right now, modern day, not going to say the bastard's name, the orange turd that is in charge. When is that line going to finally be crossed? I feel like we've crossed that line
it so many damn times.
But we haven't had our this is it moment.
I know.
When are we going to get our this is it moment?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
You can cut this out if you need to, but fuck, we need our this is it moment.
I agree.
And reading this just got me so like riled up about that.
Well, it's also, you think of the this is it moment, and it does lead them into a series of events where this is the first time that we'll be mentioning it, but Knox is going to die. I mean,
yeah, very likely. I don't remember it being specific that he died, but it's
pretty sure that Lucas straight up killed him. I'm pretty sure Lucas is the one that took the shot. Yeah. We'll get to it and we'll discuss.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we'll get to that in a moment.
Also, the this is it moment is also followed by a lot of blood. And that is historically true, and that is true in every literature.
And I know and accept that and understand, and I think that's why people aren't willing to step up. They don't feel like it's time for the bloodshed, or they're too caught up in their own worries in life and think that I don't want it to be mine.
Yeah. And
I don't want it to be mine.
The move, well, nobody wants it to be theirs,
I don't want to leave my kids fatherless.
Of course.
I'm unfortunately ready for that to be the case.
I don't know that I'm ready for it, but it seems to be looming, and it's a terrifying prospect. I want things to change, certainly, but I'm not ready for that moment, because that means a lot of death, a lot of blood, and a lot of strife for people that don't deserve it. And I mean, I understand that people are already going through that strife, but that is another scale of strife that we, living our very comfortable lives, even those that are not comfortable, it's going to be more comfortable than a war-torn country, no matter what. The after, sure, that could be different. That could be wonderful. And we'd be going into a battle much like this is happening. These folks are, yes, they're going into a battle for themselves, but they are going into a battle for the legacy of their lives, for the people behind them. There was a game I played not too long ago called Expedition 33. And one of the characters, the entire thing behind this is these people go on this expedition and expect not to come home. This is an expectation, but their entire mantra is for those that come after, and it's beautiful, and it's so heartfelt, and it's horrible. I mean, nothing about what's happening in the book, what's happening in reality, is good. It's a terrible, terrible place to be, and I hate. I'm loving this book, but I hate how terrifyingly close it parallels our reality. Yeah.
And this is written long before any of this even started.
I mean, shit, I read 1984 last year, and it was scary to the degree in which we have come close to that ridiculously.
I read that during the pandemic. So the Orange Bastard was already in office, and it was my first time reading it. And what really surprised me, spoilers for 1984 here, although that book came out so long ago, hopefully you've either read it or you're probably not going to. Anyway, what really caught me with 1984 is how it doesn't end with them winning.
Yeah.
Like, it is a sour, like, scary, bleak ending where nothing gets better. And they just fall in line, intentionally or unintentionally, or forced, but whatever. And it's scary because it's such a warning, which is exactly what it was written for, of what's going to happen if we don't listen up and fight back. And now we are seeing double speak. New speak.
I know.
We are seeing all of that. Do not believe your eyes. The things that you were seeing, all of that. Like, it can be applied to today. And it scares the shit out of me.
You and me
so
both.
When I read a book like this that was written long before any of this was happening, and feel that connection to what's happening in our real world, it terrifies me and gives me goosebumps, and also gets me excited, because, like, if they can have their "this is it" moment, why can't we? But I'm afraid that "this is it" moment is going to be when certain mass amounts of people die. Yeah. And it's not going to be pretty.
No.
And it's not going to be fun. Of course, none of this is going to be fun, but it's going to be terrifying.
It is. And just to clarify, I don't endorse violence in any way, shape, or form. I think that political violence is awful, but the big asterisk there is nothing ever changed with a peace talk. There's never been any true movement in this world away from the direction that we are currently headed without violence. Every time there's been a dictator, every time there's been someone of the caliber that we're currently seeing in multiple countries, ours is not unique right now. And that is a more terrifying prospect.
So there have been nonviolent revolutions. I looked it up because I was curious. But there aren't many.
Well, let's hope for that.
And I'm with you. I do not condone violence in general. I think war is the stupidest fucking thing humans have invented.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand why it needs to come to that. But unfortunately, I do think it is sometimes necessary.
Yeah. And I'm completely agreeing with that.
You're being oppressed in a way that talk and voting won't change. Sometimes violence is necessary. And I'm afraid that we've gotten to that point that the only way this is going to get better is with bloodshed.
I'm also afraid that we have, but I'm really hoping we haven't.
I agree.
That's where I'm currently sitting.
I
don't know that we have. I don't know that we haven't. Oh boy, the future is a scary, scary, scary fucking place. And I don't know if this is going to stay in the podcast or not, but
yeah, I was thinking about that as we were talking.
We'll
I'm like, this might be a better conversation for us to have separately, but also, I mean,
fuck it.
With the time that it is, with the world that we're living in, I mean, it might not be a bad thing to voice these
And this
thoughts.
is very relevant to what we're talking about as well. This is the purpose of this conversation, or this podcast, is to really delve into these things and understand what the authors are saying. And this is part of what this author is saying.
And that's why I love having conversations like this and discussing these books, because art is a medium in which reflects reality, especially sci-fi. Sci-fi is this medium, this genre that very specifically is designed to create social commentary on what's happening in real life, whether it's of the moment or a generalization, like we were just talking about with 1984, how it was this warning of what's to come if we let fascism in. And now we're seeing that firsthand. You know, books in general are meant to make us think, make us dissect and evaluate the world around us.
And that's why fascists tend to burn them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here we are in the silo to parallel that, where books have been burnt. People are lied to. This is after the fact. This is after the fascists have won, essentially. And you're seeing how these people, it's all bad. It's no good. I don't like it. But for the story,
solidly back into the book. For the story, I'm fucking excited.
Yes.
I am so excited that this is happening, that we have had this is it moment. This is how the uprising begins. And I am excited to see what happens next. Yeah. So we flip over to that next chapter 38, 8 or 7/8/38.
Yep.
38, right? That's the one that's in your book.
Yeah. So we have Lucas arrive with the box at 34. And this is where
Lucas is so adorable.
He's pretty great. I really, really like him. I wanted to ask, like, the next page, because nothing really happens with the exception of him arriving. We meet Sims, yada, yada, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing super important. But we get to Bernard. He says to Lucas, "Come with me," Bernard said, wrapping his arm around Lucas's back and squeezing his shoulder. "I want you in on this. There seem to be fewer and fewer rat shit techs I can trust around here." And then his response, Lucas's response is, "Unless you want me on the servers, we had that thing at Tower 13. My note here was, what the hell is Tower 13? And then we find out later.
It's just like another server.
But it's not. Tower 13 is the one that Bernard takes the back off of to get into the hidey hole.
Is it?
We'll double check that, but mark this in your brain, because I'm pretty sure that Tower 13 is that one, which I thought when I was reading it, I thought, wait, why would Lucas have anything to do with Tower 13 at that point? It was right now. It's just what the hell is Tower 13? Another little mystery box to open at some point. But when it's opened, it confused me. So just keep it in the back of your mind that he specifically asks about Tower 13. So moving on.
Yeah.
He says, what exactly are we looking for? And he doesn't understand why Bernard is so mad. How did this greaser make it over the hill? Was it something she did? One of my techs? What? And he said, and then it says, Lucas still couldn't figure out why the anger. And my note here is, good, he's still not corrupted. So even though he's friends with Bernard, he doesn't see, maybe a little naive, but he's not Bernard-like. which is wonderful because I was a little concerned when we heard that. I'm like, oh fuck, we're gonna get Bernard point 2. And I was very scared of that because I like Lucas and I didn't want him to see and become that. But at the bottom of the page, it said, it was just how Lucas would feel if he'd had such an unprecedented piece of success with no cause to pin it on. And so that's what he's attributing Bernard's anger to. And I'm like, dude, this guy is hyper innocent. He's like, there's not a bad bone in his body.
But I highlighted that as well, but for a different reason. I highlighted that because I was just thinking about like when I'm coding and I'm trying to figure out like why my code's not working.
And somebody does.
Then it works, but like that's not wait
that shouldn't have
why
worked.
Is it working now? That's not what I thought. Like
Same.
Wait, what was the problem then? So I related to that so hard.
Yeah, I completely agree. I've fixed problems without knowing how. It's like, well, it works, but I don't trust it still. Like, I don't know why it works. Yeah.
Yeah. I need to understand before I can actually like move on. I need to figure out why that fixed the problem because it shouldn't have. But yeah.
So the next page is where where Sims wants to take the box and we assume it's because it's wooden. It's the only thing I can guess. But, you know, I love me a little box that I can put little shit into. So maybe he just likes little containers. Then we find out more about Bernard and Lucas's relationship, how they're as good of friends as they are. And he says, I'm surrounded by morons. And that immediately reminded me of Scar from Lion King. I'm surrounded by idiots. Because that's the beginning of, what is that? Be prepared. I know that your powers are retention. Okay. So I just watched too many Disney films in my time.
Don't sing too much, otherwise Disney will sue you.
Yeah, right. So we're talking about Lucas.
Surrounded by morons.
Yeah, surrounded by morons. So we're talking about Lucas. He says, is it the strain of being the interim mayor that was getting to him? So he's just trying to figure out why Bernard is so upset because apparently to him, he's this happy-go-lucky guy and a friend, which we haven't seen that side of Bernard at all. But one can assume that to IT, he's nice, I guess. He doesn't seem like it, but he's under a lot of stress. Right? Yeah, I guess. But we haven't seen him even to people within his own circle beyond Lucas at this point right now. We haven't seen him act kindly toward anyone, like at all.
Yeah, that's true. But we've also only ever seen him when he's trying to manipulate people.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what I'm saying. It's just so strange to think of him from the perspective of someone he's not a dick to, because even to IT, he's been a little snappy. He's snappy to Sims. He's snappy. Everybody. Granted, right now he's under a lot of stress because, you know, he's quote unquote preparing for war.
This is also, again, one of the reasons I think Hugh is so great at writing, because he writes people, his characters, as full-fledged people.
Yes.
Like, nobody is pure villain. Nobody is pure good. Everybody is somewhere in between. Even the orange turd we're talking about, I'm sure, has redeeming qualities. I don't really give a shit about those redeeming qualities for him, but like, I'm sure there have been times where he's been nice to his kids or his grandkids. You know, like somebody has gotten to have seen him kind at some point in time.
Yeah, Jeffrey Epstein.
And I think that's really...
Sorry. Did that actually slip out? Whoops.
I was ready to move on and drop it, but it was too good.
Oh God.
Anyway. But so my point, though,
your point is taken.
Even Bernard,
you're absolutely right,
has got to have redeeming qualities.
Yes.
There have got to be moments in his life where he's a good guy. He definitely thinks he's the good guy.
Of course he does,
right?
Yeah.
Like, regardless of...
The best villains do.
If he is a scummy, terrible person, he thinks he's the good guy. He thinks he is doing all of this for the good of the silo. As we learn, you know, in a couple of chapters when we come back to them, he has his what was the order? He's got the order that tells him exactly what he's supposed to do in certain scenarios. And he is trying to keep them alive as his primary goal. But in order to do so, he thinks he has to kill people and take control.
Yeah.
And I love that we get that extra depth from him, knowing he's still a human being, even though he is despicable.
Yeah. He's portrayed as this very sinister character, but Howey allows him to have that depth to where he's got friends, he's got people that we genuinely care about and like, which is wild. Yeah. As I think in here it says the closest thing I have to a friend. It's like not only are they close, but they are buddies, like truly friends. It even says right here, it says it felt strange to even consider Bernard his friend anymore with his current irate. So this is not a default setting for him. We know this. So it's wild. Yeah.
I mean, moving on just a little bit, Bernard says to Lucas, "You know why I've never taken a shadow?" Bernard asked.
Yeah.
He flipped through the manual, talked about the play, skipping ahead a little here. And he says, "It's because I shudder to think of anyone else ever running this place."
Yep.
Now, of course, Lucas immediately thinks he's talking about IT, but we know we're talking about the silo.
Of course.
And then, a little bit later in that same page, he reveals to Lucas some information that we've already learned, but he says silos have burned to the ground before because of one man's hubris.
Yep.
And I like that he's got that plural on there. I mean, obviously, if he's talking about burned down, there have to be other silos. And then Lucas is like, he was dying to ask his boss what he was talking about.
That line. Like, what the hell are you talking about? And then doesn't it say here, normally he's heard priests make more sense? Or was that earlier?
Yeah, somewhere. I think that was later in when I think they were getting into the order and stuff like that. But
I think that's what it was. He said something about I've heard priests in children's book make a lot more sense than this.
Or no, maybe that
might have been earlier.
Was that him that said that? Or it might have been Juliette that said that when she was talking to Solo.
No.
We haven't quite gotten there.
No, I don't think so. But regardless, it was a funny line, and I thought it was very amusing.
Yeah.
So by the end of this chapter, without actually accepting it, Lucas is officially Bernard's shadow, which has got to become a mind fuck for Juliette later. Like, my assumption was that Juliette's going to figure out a way to, especially once she meets Solo, which we're about to meet, I believe. We're close-ish.
I think so.
When she meets Solo, she finds out that there are ways to connect to other silos. I could have sworn she was going to try to call where this ends. I thought Lucas was going to pick up. And can you imagine
so too. I was
that?
really hoping for that.
Yeah, although
I mean, since we're talking about it right now, I'm going to get into it for a moment. But like, knowing Lucas was standing there, I was just like, oh God,
but she's got,
oh God, please let him figure it out.
Yeah, but he's got the headphones on. I don't know that he will. So
I don't know, with Bernard's reaction, he might be curious.
Maybe.
And we'll have to get to that.
Yeah, we will. But so good. So good.
Yeah. So really quick, if we're talking about the orange turd just a little bit more, I really like this line, not because of, I mean, I like it in general for the way they describe Bernard as a little man, but I need a shadow, Lucas. Bernard's hand felt small in Lucas's own. And I was just thinking about...
Dude, I didn't even notice that. That's fantastic.
The small hands thing. Another connection to that dipshit.
Oh, man. Oh, that's absurd.
But anyway.
I totally did not notice that. That's hilarious. Rolling on to chapter 39, 9 or 8. We've got the air inside Jules' suit is beginning to grow stale. So she is running out of air. And then for page 281, where it explains her trying to get through this area toward the freezer, which she ultimately ends up in. This entire page, all I wrote was, this entire page is a fucking nightmare. Like, this is awful. She's crawling over dead bodies. She puts too much weight on somebody's head and their neck turns. It's like, it is the most...
Felt someone's chin, the weight of her body caused their neck to turn, nearly lost her balance.
It is gruesome.
Recoiled sensation.
Yeah, I was reading that, and the look on my face must have been something of pure disgust. I underlined like 2 or 3 things. I'm like, I don't even want to dig into this page. This is nasty. This is horrible. I hate everything about it.
Oh man, it just really gives us that sense of death in this silo, and how like the silo's truly dead, or at least so far as we know, this silo is dead.
He painted a very, very grim image.
Yeah. And like talking about silos burning to the ground before, that's what this feels like.
Right.
I mean, not literal burned,
well,
but
some of them
essentially burned to the ground. Well, maybe.
But yeah. This feels like we were saying how much we loved Howey's writing and how he can really paint a scene. This is him using his powers for evil. This is him making us just like, blah. This is horrible.
There's some that I highlighted later when we bounce back to our silo with, you know, what you were talking about with Knox's likely death. Like some of the ways he wrote the descriptors there, I highlighted because, man, they were good. We'll get into that when we get there, though.
Yeah, there were some really solid ones. But she does make her way to the freezer, finding out that it is not cold. And the reason she's made her
or is it?
Or is it? The reason she's made her way to the freezer is because she thinks maybe she's trying to figure out a way to get the toxic air off of her soup prior to opening it, which very smart, Jules. Well done. She gets to the freezer hoping to freeze it off.
Glad she thought about that.
Yes.
I probably wouldn't have thought about that. I probably just would have been like, I'm inside. I'm going to take my shit off.
I probably would have cracked that thing open as quickly as I could. Yeah, same. I would not be a survivor. I'm sorry. It sucks. So she makes it to the freezer, and she finds tepid soup, not cold enough for her to eat, but warm enough for her to pour on herself.
Not cold enough for her to eat. All right, that was good. So anyway, but yeah, she pours it on her suit and hopes to wash off this toxicity of the air. I don't know if that would work or not, but like,
it's better than nothing.
Whatever. Cool. Good idea, I guess. Like, I wouldn't have thought of that.
Well, it's liquid, and liquid washes things away, period. And something thick like a soup would be a bit more viscous, so you would think that it would, if not wash it away, at least cover it and not allow it to become airborne. Yeah. So, yeah, I think it's a great idea. Yeah. Again, I would not have thought of it. She's significantly smarter than me. And I'm okay with that.
I mean, I'd like to think I am a lot like her, but you're probably right. She's probably smarter than both of us.
At the end of the day, it's just like Hugh had time to sit down and think about the things that she could possibly do. In the moment, would someone actually think of this? Maybe, but right. I love Jules, so I'm going to say, yeah, she did. Absolutely. She's awesome.
I don't remember who said it, but I heard a quote from an author once about like, you know, oh, you're so smart because you write such smart characters. And like, I'm not smart. I just have a lot of time to think about what they would do so I can make them smart.
That's it.
Obviously, I butchered whatever the quote actually was,
but
the concept of that,
I gotcha.
holds.
The gist.
And I love that, like really thinking about like, you don't have to be a smart author. You just have to like take time to figure out what your characters would do that would make them smart.
And you have
like,
research
when they come
and
up with the solution like that, because they're intelligent, because they think quick on their feet.
How long did it take him to come up with that?
Only they do.
So what should she do when she gets into the silo? It's on his board for a week pinned. Like, oh, soup.
Right. Yeah.
Oh man. So then it's talking about her after dousing herself in soup, she takes a knife and starts breaking, because we talked about Holston having a hard time getting the helmet off, which again, I still think is part of the sinister design, so that it's more difficult to get the helmet off. She takes a knife and she's kind of popping the locks on her helmet. And hang on, let me see if this is. No, this is not the part yet. It's when she actually takes her suit off that it mentions it. So we'll get there in a second. But she manages to get her helmet off, and she's able to take a gulp of air. It's wretched. It's disgusting. Apparently, the soup she poured all over herself is rotted through, which is what I wrote here is, God, the description is nauseating.
Biological decay, a tepid filth of stenches invaded her mouth, tongue, and nose.
Ugh, yeah, so gross. It's air so thick you can chew it. It's just so gross, so gross. But regardless, oxygen. She's alive. Jules persists.
I think it's also really interesting, though. We see here breathing was painful.
Yes.
She imagined a burning sensation on her skin, but it could have been her fevered state. I mean, we don't know for sure that the toxic air got in, but I imagine that the airlock was full of whatever kills them. And so she had to have let some of it in.
Yeah.
Don't know how much.
Yeah.
Don't know if it's lighter than air and going to stay in the top, or if it's going to like propagate everywhere. We don't know any of that yet, but I imagine that this painful breathing and burning sensation on her skin weren't imagined. They were likely, very likely, whatever it is that kills them, and she's feeling it. And so that for me was a little scary to read. Like, oh shit, she's got to figure out how to get away from this.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like she's alive, but for how long?
Yeah, if things are leaking into the silo. So her, we'll get into what she does, but yeah, ultimately her idea is to head down, which, being Jules, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Now, this is one of those pages. Turning to the next chapter, chapter 40, 10-9. This is one of those pages and one of those chapters that I have writing circles and underlines all over the place. There's a lot going on here.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
So this is a chapter. So it starts out.
This is the plan, right?
Yeah, this is a Knox chapter. It starts out with Knox saw the uproar in mechanical was just another emergency to overcome, like the time the basement subwall had sprung a leak, or when the oil rig had hit a pocket of methane, and they had to evacuate 8 levels until the air handlers made it safe to return. So many things in that sentence that I want to point out, or 2 sentences rather. Number 1, I thought that Knox was against the uprising or what was happening right out the gate. It's like, what? Whoa, wait, hang on, he flipped? But obviously that's not the case. I was mistaken, but it sounds like he's trying to fix the problem, everybody being up in arms. But yeah, pockets of methane, I thought were an interesting thing to bring in here, because that would fill the bottom very, very quickly. And I want to know what the hell an air handler is. And how do they do that?
Yeah, I don't know. Do they bring a tool in, or is it just like somebody who knows how to use the filtration system? I have no idea.
Like, what does that job entail? I want to learn more about that job specifically. That was really interesting. But more into this page, there were things. Okay, I'm gonna read this whole. Only this time, he and his people wouldn't be setting out to repair something. There were things the good people of mechanical meant to break. I love that.
Yes.
Love that.
I love that line too.
Yeah. He is, I love him.
But like, even though it's worded like, because the wording is so great, like things that they're meant to break, the reality is they're breaking shit to fix shit.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
I really love that.
Absolutely. And that's kind of Knox's whole, I'm going to point out a number of times where I love the way he's thinking about this. I love the way he's thinking about that. And I will certainly expand upon those when we get to them. But yeah, the mentality Knox has going into this, I'm so sad that he's gone, because the way he was approaching all of this was so real, genuine. There's a part where he's talking, he's thinking about the previous uprisings and whether or not, they've always been painted as the bad guys. The people that have done the uprising have always been painted as the villains. Yeah. And he's sitting there like, well, our cause is righteous. Like, are we the bad guys? That's that whole are we the bad guys thing. And he's genuinely struggling with this thought, because like his entire life, he's thought that these people that had these uprisings, they were in the wrong. Like, how could they? But suddenly he's finding himself in the position and like, oh my God, like, no, everything I've ever been told was a lie. Like, his entire existence is a lie. And he's realizing that. And that is, boy, can you imagine trying to wrap your mind around what that means?
I mean, you had a real life version of that. I doubt it was all in one moment, though. Growing up believing in what was it, Christianity, I assume?
Catholic.
Catholic, it's probably even worse that way.
So
right?
much, so much
well,
worse.
maybe not worse, but I don't know, maybe. But like growing up in your life believing that, and then when you finally come around to realizing that, to you at least, to the way we both agree and believe, that was all a lie. Like, how did that affect you? How did you feel about that? Did you feel betrayed or offended, or like how did that affect your worldview?
There was a moment where I did. A time where I did, rather, we'll say. But the biggest difference between this and my situation is the people perpetuating the lie believe it 100%. While Bernard does believe what he's doing is right, there are people feeding him the information, people controlling what's happening. There is a person to blame that whether they believe it's right or not, they know it's false. And that, I think, is the big difference. So, yes, there was a hint of that.
There'd be a big difference there, yeah.
But it was, I can forgive those that fed that information to me because they truly believed it and still do, a lot of them. So that's a very different realization and mind fuck. Still a mind fuck, but a different mind fuck.
I'm not entirely convinced that the people in the upper echelons of religious organizations truly believe it all.
But they weren't the ones feeding it to me.
True. It'd be like your parents and the church, and
that's
those
precisely
people
right.
who probably do believe it 100%.
Yeah. There are the oligarchs that keep religion rolling the way that it does because it benefits them greatly. And those people can go fuck off. But the people that physically gave me the information, told me these stories, allowed me to believe, well, not allowed, but encouraged my belief in these things, genuinely believed that there was a better life and afterlife for me if I did indeed believe. Whereas these people, it is only to keep them down.
Yeah. So I can see how you would probably have a lot more empathy for those that were feeding you the lie than Knox does.
Yes.
Because for him, he knows
there's no redemption there.
It's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. They are intentionally feeding him lies and keeping them in the dark, quite literally in the dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, it's a crazy thing to think about, the parallels to life. I mean, that's one of the things I'm really loving about this book is that it is so far flung and so sci-fi, but God, if there aren't 1,000 parallels on here, 1,000 things to grab onto. And I understand exactly what's going on here because I've been there. I've felt that. I understand that. That's such a human reaction.
Very, very slight aside here. I just really enjoy that we both fully acknowledge that this is sci-fi because so many people think sci-fi means space.
No, that's a silly thing.
And like, I know, but it's so true. Like so many people think, oh, sci-fi is in space
and aliens
on Earth. Yeah, it's like that sort of thing. Whereas like something like Star Wars isn't sci-fi as much as people might want to label it as. Star Wars is firmly in the fantasy realm.
With a sci-fi flair.
I mean, yeah,
with a sci-fi flair. You have to admit that there is
like, spaceships and stuff, but like it is fantasy.
It is.
Whereas,
it's a beautiful marriage of both fantasy and sci-fi.
Sci-fi. Yeah. Okay. Yes, it's both.
Yeah.
But I think it's more fantasy than it is sci-fi.
I mean, it's space wizards. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. But anyway, that's just my little aside because I love that sci-fi isn't just space. Like another one of my favorite sci-fi stories is Children of Men. I actually haven't finished. I started reading the book and I didn't really love the book all that much, but I loved the movie.
Clive Owen, his best
because
work.
the way it was told, like the long shots, like the way they just made you think about the world. Again, those big questions, the ability to really like think like what would we do in a scenario like this, and this thing where humanity is ending in some way. And no spoilers for that. If you haven't seen Children of Men, go watch it, especially if you're loving this book.
Highly recommend it.
Children of Men, one of my favorite movies, top 20 of all time. So good. Anyway, but what I love is that is purely sci-fi. And again, no space. it's all based in reality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway, that's enough for my little aside about sci-fi. I just, you said that and it made me think about it, and I wanted to talk about that.
No, totally fair.
But yeah, back to the book.
So this is actually where I was saying this is not the first time Knox has thought about the war. This is where he's delving out his instructions and yada yada, et cetera, et cetera. I wanted to point out this little sentence here. It made me chuckle. He turned to Jenkins, who had shadowed under Knox for 6 years before he grew his own beard and moved to third shift. It's like that's a requirement
thing, because right. Like once you're not a shadow anymore, you grow your own beard.
Yep, time to move on. I've got a beard now.
I enjoyed that. Yeah.
Oh man, that killed me. But yeah, he's going full force here. He's going as much food stockpiled. He's talking about checking locks, hinges, making sure that hinges, this place, he's going to lock this place down.
Comes to us.
Yeah, he has thought about how to do this. But again, you might be right. This might just be how he operates. But all the little details, I feel like there's been some thought put into this, whether it was conscious or not.
Maybe. I think it's just more of a, this is how it is, and I know that this is what it might take, and he just knows how to kind of like
delegate
think through that.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's the sort of person who has thought about preparing for war, because I think he has tried so hard to avoid this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And like I think we've seen him kind of squash the ideas of talking about the taboos and stuff earlier before all this came up. So I think he is very much that sort of person who doesn't think about this. He doesn't dwell on it. He's not that type of person. So to really have all of this locked and loaded, ready to go, I think is just in the moment. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he is the type of person to think about it, but I feel like this is just an in the moment thing for him.
Sadly, we'll never know. But there was another on this page. There was another nod to how everyone thinks they run this place. I mean, he straight up says,
we see that a lot.
Yeah. Then Mark, God, I almost called him Merrick. What have you done to me? Mark says, you understand what they've been doing, right? They've been sending people out to die on purpose, not because it had to happen, but because they wanted it to. Like, it's a good reason to go to war. I mean, you can't blame them. They're definitely in the right, which again feeds into Knox's whole thought process of like, we're definitely right. This is a righteous quest. But in reality, who doesn't think that when they're in an uprising? Isn't that kind of what uprisings are? Yeah. Is right. Throwing the people, the greedy, from the top and allowing the people to have power again. That is, I can't fathom another reason for an uprising. Then it wouldn't be called an uprising. Then it'd be called a coup if it were for a different reason. Yeah. Right? That's the difference between those two words, is giving power to the people or giving power to a particular person.
About that, but I've always kind of thought of a coup as just like you're taking the people in power out. But I guess the reality is coups happen from people who want to be in power versus people who want to give the power back to the people.
Yeah, that really is the big difference. Yeah. And that might not be the technical difference. And I'm sure somebody in the comments can say, no, the difference actually is. But
yeah, whatever.
When you boil it down to the basics, that's kind of the reality of it. You call one thing, depending on what you call it, can absolutely change the perspective of what you're trying to do with it and the reality. I mean,
that comes down to like revolution versus insurrection, the people who win get to name it. So.
Yeah. The people that win get to write the history. You're absolutely right. And that is something we've seen many times over in our history books.
Yeah.
But moving right along, there's a line here that made me chuckle. I think we're still talking about Knox here, where the people who worked, shopped, and ate in the mids mingled with those who'd rather they didn't. And this, it really doesn't ring that line, but it reminded me of the line that Bilbo says during his birthday party. I don't know half of you half as well as I should like, and like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. So ridiculous. I love it. The line wasn't that close, but that's what popped in and it made me chuckle a little bit.
Yeah, it feels that way. Like, yeah. It's really clear. Like, we don't want you here.
Yeah, we don't like you.
We're tolerating you.
Yeah. Yeah. Then he's talking about the dirt farm on 26 being a key asset. And with that, they believe that they would be self-sufficient. So his goal, or the goal of this invading party, I guess, is to become self-sufficient and lock down IT. I don't believe they say that just yet, but that is the goal. He wants to make sure.
Well, yeah, there is, when Courtney says, but what's the larger picture?
Yeah.
Storm IT and then what? Take over running this place? We already run this place, Knox growled.
Yeah, exactly.
We just do it in the dark. One of the things I want to comment that I really appreciate is how quickly this all happens. Like, they find out about Jules, and there's no, multiple days of planning and thinking. There's just action.
Yep.
Like, it's all right away. Same morning, already making their way up to Supply to make plans.
Yeah, crazy, right? So they get up to Supply. Now it was just silence and distrustful glares. Knox stood with his people, their sacks and loads slumping exhaustedly to the floor, sweat on their brows, while the men and women of Supply watched, unmoving. He had expected a more amicable welcome. And I love that McLean, which we had heard about chapters and chapters and chapters ago, being the old badass of Supply. We finally get to meet her. Mm-hmm. And she graced Knox with a look of scorn he hadn't seen since his mother passed away. That's such a great line.
Yeah.
Like, you can see McLean. I don't know what she looks like yet. I know nothing about her, but she's not happy. And this woman makes Knox, this giant of a man, this Goliath of a man, feel small and worthless. I love her. She is such a bona fide Bamf. And sadly, as we're meeting her, sadly, she does not make it through this battle either. Now, I know that Lucas kills her.
Oh, man, and that...
Yeah.
That moment.
Yeah.
That moment. So hard. So good.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get into that in a second.
Yes, we will.
It's coming up soon. Sooner than we'd like.
Yeah. So Knox, he being Knox, he's talking to McLean, and his big thing is that he let them take Jules. He simply let them. And there was, of course, that moment where he was ready to bust some heads, and Jules told him not to.
And Jules told him not to.
Yeah. So.
But he still regrets it.
Yes.
He knew.
Yes.
That this may be the last time he'd ever see her.
Exactly.
And he did nothing. And he regrets that.
Yeah, he says, and I let them. I stood there because I trust this system. I fear it just as any of you. And it's that trust that has been broken, and that he is what has set him on this war path. And I love Knox until the next page. Do I love Knox?
So we're going to have to get into that, because I'm not sure what you mean. Like, what
is his beef with dogs, man? He is ripping on dogs non-stop. Yeah. I'm sitting there reading my book, scratching my dog's head, and he just lays in on them. Like, dude.
I was quite literally taking my dog for a walk while I was reading that section, and I was similar in thought, like, how dare him not like dogs, but also briefly dogs in the silo.
I know,
really?
I know, and that's huge on that capital. Like, oh my god, we have dogs, and this dog is adorable.
Yeah, I like how they finally revealed that. But you have to give him credit, because as much as he's like, these gross animals, or however he he just doesn't get it, right? He doesn't understand. Mm-hmm. He finds himself still scratching the dog's head, and I'm like, there it is. Now he knows why people like dogs. He's getting it. Yeah,
I really. But anyway, we actually haven't even got to that part yet. This is where his speech is.
Have we? I was just looking for it, and I'm like, I highlighted that, didn't I? Why can't I find it? No, it's not even in this chapter.
No, it's not in this chapter. But I had written "Boo Knox" next to that, and I wrote "Boo" on this page as well, so I thought we were there. I was wrong, but McLean is very, very unimpressed by this gathering. Then Shirley pipes up saying, "We aim to break heads." Fucking go, Shirley. Love her. But then this is the speech that Knox made. I'm just going to read this whole thing out. I'm going to stumble over it like crazy, but it's such a good speech. I want to give it its due. So,
Yeah.
No person has ever been sent cleaning for listening, however great the taboo. He allowed that to sink in. So let me be sent to cleaning for any of you for what I'm about to say. I will welcome it if these facts do not move you, and instead push forward with me and my men. For this is what Walker and few brave souls have shown us this morning. We have cause for more hope than any they dare to give us. There's more at our disposal to broaden our horizons than they'll allow. We have been raised on a pack of lies, made to fear by the sight of our kinsmen rotting in the hills. But now one of us has crossed over that. They have seen new horizons. We have been given seals and washers and told that they would suffice. But what are they? And following this, there's more to it. Excuse me. Designed to fail. That's what. Fake. And who knows what other lies there are. What if we'd taken any cleaner back and done our best by them, cleaned them and disinfected them, tried whatever we could? Would they survive? We can no longer trust IT to tell us they wouldn't.
Yes. Knox saw chins rise and fall. He knew his own people were ready to storm the room if need be. And like the next thing he says, we are not here to cause trouble, he said. We are here to bring order.
Mm-hmm. The uprising has already happened.
Yeah.
We've been living the uprising. This will not be the start of something new, but the end of something old. So good.
Yes.
So good.
So fucking good. I am here for it. I am with you, Knox. I am ready to go.
Yeah.
I'm ready to go.
And the follow-up to that, the whisper that had killed so many became a throaty roar shouted from his broad chest. It's good.
I highlighted that one too. So good.
And
that's the next line. And it felt good.
Yes. And that's exactly it. And then McLean, the hard ass, there's a little bit in between, but basically she turns to her ilk and says, "What say you, supply?" And
yeah,
shit's on. It's happening.
It is.
We got angry war cries of the good men and women of supply. Like, shit's going down, and it's exciting. It's very exciting. And then, of course, we're pulled out of that to go back to Lucas and Bernard, which is here is where we find
such
Tower 13.
An interesting duo.
Yeah. So he's talking about he was pretty sure he hadn't accepted the offer, not verbally anywhere, but Bernard spoke as though the deal was done. So he is his shadow. He doesn't get any say of it, really.
No.
He starts talking about his will, how Sims was the executor, but is no longer, or rather, he's going to have to change that. I just don't see that going smoothly. But this is where he starts talking about him becoming his shadow. And Lucas assumes that he is just going to be overseeing cleanings, and he's wondering if he's going to have to abandon his star charts. But down near the end of the page, Bernard guided Lucas through the servers past number 13 with its blank face and still fans all the way to the back of the room. Okay. I misread that. Okay.
Yeah,
I was totally wrong. Yeah, because it was
just
dead.
Saying that server went down.
Yeah,
he needs
that's
to
the
fix
problem.
it. And Bernard's like, don't worry about it right now. We've got bigger fish to fry.
Okay, I totally misread that. All right, good. Because that really confused me as to how he knew anything about Tower 13. Okay. All right. I feel much better about life now because that threw me. But I mean, he gets to this server and he starts unlocking it from locks that are designed to look like recessed screws. I mean, this thing is hidden like insanely well. Like it, so that he gets in there, and then from there's a lever that pops a panel from the floor. I mean, it's like an escape room. He's leading him down. He has no idea where he's going. Yeah, Bernard seals them both inside the dark dungeon. He flicked on the light. Lucas saw that his boss was grinning maniacally. The anger was from before was gone. There was a new man before him, confident and eager man. Like, oof, I don't want him to be confident and eager. that makes me a bit nervous.
Yeah.
And Lucas keeps looking over his shoulder. He was curious, but also afraid. I love that juxtaposition he's sitting in. And then at the very end of this chapter, we get to a room full of the strange and curious, a place that made charting the stars seem insignificant, a den where the sense of the world's scale of size took on a wholly new proportion. That I want to know everything in that room, and we get a little bit of that with the chapters to come. But what a cool drop! I'm so excited to learn more about it. There's so much meat here. Not only are we getting more questions asked, but we're getting questions answered. It's a constant flow. I love it. It's very, very well done.
It is.
So rolling into chapter 42. Let's see. Where are we? We are with Jules again. Right out the gate, she's wondering how much of the darkness had been because of her helmet. And it actually really surprises me that the helmet showed anything once the screen went darker. Like, why would it?
Well, I mean, I think it still has the pass through, right? Like it has to have the video pass through if we saw her seeing everything outside.
Sure.
So I think once the program is no longer doing the overlay, it just got video pass through.
Yeah. I wonder how much.
And it would need that.
Yeah, totally. For the augmented reality.
Because otherwise it would kill. Well, I mean, yes, that too. But I was going to say if it was just the video, obviously people would figure it out when they were inside the silo still before they'd gone out. So it has to have that video pass through for them to believe that they're actually seeing the outside before they go out and get the augmentation.
Okay. I'll buy that. It felt like once it hits that point, like how long do the helmets run? I wonder, because there has to be power for it to get that pass through. So
yeah.
I don't know. I guess they could be battery powered to run a while, but I don't imagine they'd be that extensive. I mean, they only need to run for a few minutes. I don't know. It occurred to me that they would have to be a battery backup for them to run at all. Right. And if that battery backup
has to be power of some sort in these suits. Yeah.
Yeah. And you're not going to waste a lot of
these suits have power for other things like the oxygen flow or whatever.
Sure.
Like that might be a thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It occurred to me that there would be a shut off at some point, and I'm surprised with the oxygen running out that shut off hasn't come and gone. Yeah. But that's just a tidbit of curiosity that got me. And then this is the point where she says God built more than one, which like, come on, Jules, you know better than that.
Wait, where'd she say that? I was
it's at the top. Oh yeah, you're right here.
Page. I was actually just looking at the exact quote. No, I'm there. Right. The full quote, I highlighted it, but I just didn't highlight only that part. I really enjoyed that whole thing. Yeah. This world is the same as my world, she thought to herself, stumbling down the first flight of stairs in the wan glow of emergency light strips. The gods built more than one. I don't think she's saying that like she actually believes the gods built more than one, totally. Especially since it's italicized in mine. I think it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek thing, because she even says earlier that she doesn't believe that the gods built it. So it's just her kind of like obvious. It's her little like, fuck you to the priests. Not even a fuck you. I think it's the wrong term. It's like her little like, clearly you're full of shit about the priests. Like the gods built more than one.
Look at that.
Like I think she says it sarcastically, I'd probably be like, oh, I guess the gods built more than one.
Yeah, that could be. It's a good line. Then she starts trying to get her suit off. And these things are not meant to be removed, like at all, especially not by one person. Like these things are coffins, essentially. And I think she even refers to it as
double zippers, Velcro.
Yeah. And she's taking the knife that is it on this page? I'll probably be jumping ahead. But when she's trying to cut the suit off with the knife, there's a mention of every instinct in her body telling her not to cut toward herself. Is that the...
Oh, I think that was the
helmet, wasn't it?
I think that was the helmet. I missed that. Pushing the knife, pushing it into the
basically her jugular,
and like, oh God, I'm pushing this into my how? Oh, that'd be hard. That'd be hard to do.
It would be
like even
so
if
hard to do.
There's something in the way.
Yeah, but that something could give way, and that's what she's trying to do. It just, I totally missed that, but I thought that was when she was cutting the suit off. But you're absolutely right. But she ultimately is able to get out of her suit, and she's flabbergasted that she's survived. She gets the outer layer of her suit off, and she's got like I kind of imagined a wetsuit almost.
Yeah, that's what it seemed like to me, like this black lining.
Yeah. But then eventually she gets out of that as well. And so she is now naked. running around the silo, which my priority would absolutely have been to find clothes. She skips out on that a number of times. I'm like, I'm sorry, but
well, I mean,
but
it does become her priority very soon.
It
but
does.
right now, she's just trying to get away from the up top as quickly as possible. And I think it's really interesting that like she's in a dead silo. Like, who's going to see her?
Well,
like, so that doesn't fucking
but she
matter.
doesn't know
All
that.
she cares about is safety.
She doesn't know that for sure.
Well, I don't know. You climb over all these dead bodies and there's rotting soup and it's black. Like, in her mind, this place is fucking dead.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I think that like having clothes would not be a top priority, even for me. Like unless I'm cold, like maybe some protection of some sort for clothing. But I think that like her, my priority would absolutely be to get away from the things that are going to kill me.
Sure. And I agree with that, but still, even walking through my own house entirely naked, I don't like it. I don't like walking around naked. I
walk around naked all the fucking time.
Do you? See, it's not in me to do that. So I'm thinking like, find clothes, find something to cover yourself, and then start calling hello. Then start exploring.
So
that's the thing that's getting me is that she's exploring whilst naked.
Totally off topic here, but I walk around my house naked all the time. Like, I sleep naked. I wake up and I start my day naked. I let my dog out while I'm still naked. I just, open up the back door and hook her and hope that nobody's going to walk by, because I live in a condo. And so it's
You're a braver man than I.
Even though my back area, my back area faces like a little ravine and a little wooded area, people sometimes, at least during the summer, not so much during the winter, will walk past to get to the trash cans instead of going around. And so it's rare, but it happens. And so I will be just hoping nobody walks by.
See,
but
never.
I don't give a shit. I think clothes are a social construct, with the exception of keeping you warm or protecting your body. I don't give a shit. It's just a body.
But I understand that.
So
but
for
she's
me, it's yeah.
Okay, so she grew up in this place where she's surrounded by people, and this place is identical. She never would have been on these stairs naked. There would be a certain exposed feeling being in that location. Very, very heavily exposed feeling. And and then she starts calling out for people whilst still naked, and she's moving down whilst still naked. Like, what if the population just moved down a few floors because the top air was a little toxic? Like, it's going to be a hell of an introduction if so. Because it's a social construct, you should probably think about being socially acceptable when you're not even potentially, when you're straight up looking for people. Don't be naked.
True. She's looking for. Well, I mean, I don't know that it's necessarily she's looking for people or just making sure
hello.
There's nobody there. I know, but that could just be I'm just making sure there's nobody here. But I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Regardless, I think life or death is going to be a more
that's a better driving force
here.
I completely agree. I wouldn't go looking for people before finding something to cover myself. That's a good way to make an awkward start.
And shortly into this, she does go look for something to wear.
She does, and
she finds the tablecloth, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah, she made a poncho.
He wrote through the tablecloth stuff. Yeah, she absolutely made a poncho, but I really enjoyed how she starts out just trying to tie it around her neck and it's just not working. And she's clever enough to be fuck it, I'm turning this into a poncho, even though she doesn't call it that.
Yeah.
But it's exactly what it is. And how she cuts the strip off as a belt. I'm that is a clever fucking woman.
Oh yeah, she's great.
I am not that clever. I would not have thought about making a belt out of a strip of the fabric.
Right.
I'm not even sure I would have thought about putting the slit through it. I probably would have just fucking struggled with tying it around my body in some awkward way and then thought, good enough.
Yeah, exactly. I would have been in the same boat. I absolutely would have been. But, she's smarter than we are because Hugh had time to think about her.
Exactly.
So the next page, it moves on to the fact that people had fled from this place. And she asks what had happened here. And that's my question as well. And I'm so curious to know. It kind of alludes to it. Solo kind of alludes to it because there was an uprising, and we very much know. And in fact, I really like the way Solo puts it about
the seeds going bad, which we'll get to when we get to that chapter, but such a great way of explaining the way this all works and what it all is.
Yeah. And at this point we don't know. So that was my question. Like what happened? Why? There's so much mystery being built in this dead silo. You know, we've seen this place, essentially this place in its all its glory. You know, basically when Jans and Marnes were heading down, that was the silo at the peak of its operation. And to see the antithesis of that is like, well, what happened? Why? What caused all this? And we find out that basically what's happening right now in her silo is what happened here. And oof, I mean, she doesn't know that's happening, but seeing these two things side by side it's
I was going to point this out
impactful.
Later when she meets Solo. I had a thought and I want to comment on it now. Like I said earlier, we went back, right? So this is still for her the night before all the stuff we're seeing with Knox. And I think it's really interesting, like you said, you know, happening right now. But and we're going to catch up quickly enough, I think. But obviously with the writing and drawing out like short moments that don't necessarily take as long, I really enjoy the way we're being told the story. But later on, well, no, we haven't gotten to this for either of them, so I'll wait. But there's a moment that I want to bring up when we get there.
Okay. I wanted to point out real quick before we move too far down the silo. Actually, I think this is even before she makes the poncho. Yeah, it is. So she goes to the floor that she lived on, which was, I think, 13, I think it says. And it's wild to me that she doesn't know what's on floor 14. Like, you grew up one floor above and you don't know what's beneath you. One floor. That seems unlikely to me. Right?
I didn't get the idea she lived on 13, just that there were dormitories on 13.
Really? Let's see. Hang on. I should regret. Place of food. Is this because I think I made note.
I mean, I'm looking at that right now where
303. Hang on. I got it right here.
Oh, 13 she would definitely know. There were certain things learned young and remembered so deep felt like there'd be stones in the center of the mind. So that definitely suggests that she had lived on 13.
Yeah.
Spent a lot of time
the place
there,
where she had not just been born but raised. It was hard to believe that this was someplace different. So raised, maybe not lived, but raised. If her dad worked on so her dad worked on 13 and she spent a lot of time there is essentially what that's saying. So to not know what's on the floor just beneath that seems kind of wild to me, right?
Yeah, that's definitely interesting. Like, why wouldn't you know?
At least the few floors surrounding where you spend the majority of your time, you'd at least know whether you go down there or not. Like, okay, so that's the market, that's the apartments. At least I have a concept of like, I haven't been to every place in my town, but I know what it is. I know where it is. Granted, my town is like minusculely small, but you get my saying, or you get my meaning.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's definitely interesting. Like, why wouldn't she know what was on the floor below, unless it was like one of those nondescript things where it's not like a big obvious one where it's like, oh, you go there for lots of things. Like maybe it's something where it's not.
It's like the DMV of the silo.
Yeah, like maybe
nobody wants to know.
By the time she left, it wasn't something that she needed to be familiar with, and so like whatever
that could be. That could be.
I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. So then she's talking about, well, during that part, it's still before she makes the poncho, she's talking about the regret that she has for not stopping and seeing her dad, which was mentioned a number of times, both her going up and down. And now her reason was because he was always going to be there. It was always an option. So now that it's not is when she feels the regret, which makes all the sense in the world. But to close this chapter out, she is beat. She's exhausted. I think that Jules is a very smart character, except for this moment. Well, there are a couple moments, but this moment in particular, going to sleep on the stairwell and not tucked away in a corner when you're unfamiliar with what could potentially be here. Absolutely fucking not. There's not a chance in my being would allow that to happen.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. Like, why not go into the dormitories, or like, why not go into the nursery and like sleep there? Like, why on the
find a bed,
stairs?
find some clothes. Yeah. Not something I would have done. That seems like
maybe it's because there was light there.
That's what she does mention that there's light there, so she is okay with that. But if I have not explored this entire silo, and there's a part here where she says if someone existed in the silo and didn't want to be found, they could absolutely do that. And I get that. Worst game of hide and seek ever. But if I'm going to be the person that's in quote unquote invading a silo, there could be people living there. You don't know. You haven't gone all the way down. There could be a whole thriving society, or the people that survived could be less than friendly. If they come across a sleeping naked woman, that could have really bad implications.
Yeah. And like, I just think it's interesting, like the way Hugh or Juliette, I guess, justifies it. She's saying that it was tempting to explore the level for a bed, but she decided against it. There would be little comfort in the pitch black behind those doors. But why?
Yeah.
Would there be little comfort in the pitch black behind those doors? I don't know. But regardless, she decides to sleep in the landing. Kind of a weird choice, but it is what it is. That's what she does. And it's thankfully not when she gets into trouble.
No, it is not. But then we roll on to chapter 43, 13, 12, depending on your book. And this is McLean, Knox and McLean. So we are in it. This is where he starts talking about this is not an uprising. He said, the forbidden words moving easily with the grease of habit and time. We're setting things to right. And this is where I wrote down low. Well, isn't that always what an uprising is? Like that is the entire point of an uprising is to set things to right. Yeah.
You think of an uprising as we are, fixing things. But again, like, the history is written by the winners. If you think of people uprising as bad, then like it could just be because they don't like their lot in life. They don't like their place in life.
True.
Rather than because they are right. And so this is definitely him kind of realizing that no, things are wrong. That's what this is. And we're going to fix it. Yeah.
And to the people not liking their lot in life comment, if there are people that don't like their lot in life, that means there's an unbalance.
True. Absolutely. And I definitely heard that after I said it. But what I meant by it is like people who may have ended up where they are with their own choices that are choosing. Like, let's think about the January 6th insurrectionists, right? Like they were manipulated and they were lied to and they thought what they were doing was right. But the rest of us look at it like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you fucking traitors. And so that's kind of what I meant. Right. Like, for them, that was an uprising. It just wasn't for good reason.
See, but again, I would consider that more of a coup.
Sure. An attempted coup. Yeah. Or an insurrection, as it has been called.
But that's also because I'm sitting on this side of the fence and not the person pushing for that. Yeah. So fair. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Uprising is defined by the person initiating the act. Coup is defined by the person in which the act is being acted upon. I don't know. I lost it there a little bit, but that's okay.
Sure. I'll buy it.
Hey, you don't listen to this podcast for intelligence. You listen for entertainment.
I'd like to think that we're a couple of smart guys talking about things and we might not get everything right, but
and that's okay.
Yeah.
So moving on, this is where we find out about dogs. We meet Jackson, which is probably my favorite character in the entire story so far. He's such a good boy.
The dog is your favorite character? Yeah, he's such a good boy.
Yeah, so Knox doesn't like dogs, so boo on him. But we do meet dogs. We find out that there have been dogs in Mechanical. I also thought it was interesting that there's a point in here where he said this breed always had a dumb smile or something to that effect.
Yeah, referred to the specific breed and like, oh, so we've got multiple breeds, not just like
precisely what I was thinking.
Not just like one or two dogs got brought in and then propagated to all these dogs. It's like multiple dogs with different breeds.
Enough for distinct breeds over thousands of years or hundreds of years.
After these centuries have not co-mixed to the point that it's basically all one mutt now.
Right.
There are still specific breeds.
Yeah, we went down the exact same path. I was like, well, would that really happen? I mean, you put that distinct breed may always be or may also be an offshoot. There could be 3 different distinct breeds in the silo that are breeds that we don't have because there's such specific mixes of these that we have no idea.
I mean, all dogs are evolved from gray wolves. Like from a Chihuahua to a Great Dane, every dog evolved from a gray wolf. And so like the idea that we can get such distinctly different dogs, I think is fascinating and I love it. But
it's very interesting.
We can easily make new breeds by like, these 2 dogs and this new breed and like that's just what it is, and we just keep those dogs. And it's definitely fascinating. And what a tangent, man, from like one line, like one word, really, in
about a smiling dog. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
yeah.
But anyway. Going back to the page. And we'll pause it there. That wraps up part 2 of 4 of this section. I assure you there is still a lot left to discuss about the Unraveling, and we will catch you in part 3. Thank you so much for spending your time with us between the covers of today's story. If you'd like to help keep Shelf Indulgence alive and growing, you'll find our Patreon link in the description. Your support helps write the next chapter. A rating or review wherever you listen also helps other readers discover us and means more to me than you know. Most of all, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. I truly hope you'll keep turning the pages with us. Book by book, story by story. We'll see you next time.